Bam!
Night turn to day turn to night. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. Night turn to day turn to night. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide.
You never let another soul tell you you can't. When you feel it in your chest, making money in the bank. Never base your progress off what the next man think. Cause misery love company, they want your ship to sink. One thing about succeeding, you leave some folk behind. Cause either they're underachieving or don't understand your mind. Stay focused on what you believe in. Then give yourself some time. It might take a couple seasons, but I promise you'll be fine. My homie PK always told me, go hard, it helps you rest. You can always sleep better when you know you gave your best. It comes a time in every life when it's action over word, and based on what you've done tonight, you gon' get what you deserve. I challenge everyone to move, cause you don't wanna be old, feeling like you never tried to attain your goals. I am the working class hero, simply cause I won't fold. So many Jews on this, you can call it pot of gold.
Night turn to day turn to night. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. Night turn to day turn to night. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide.
Leroy, because there's a lot of young people that do watch my shows. They're forever telling my kids, we saw your mom on TV last night and we saw y'all signing, and oh Todd, you were so little, and they get that all the time. So I know there are a lot of young people, and plus I put a lot of my stuff on YouTube, and a lot of people watch as well. So if there are some young brothers especially that want to get in touch with you because they're going through what you've gone through and still the challenge you're still facing, and I know, and see, they know that you will talk to them on the real.
I want to talk to everybody that want to talk to me.
That's what I'm talking about.
My email.
See, that's putting back. That's putting back.
My email address is LeeCoBrown, LeeCoBrown at Yahoo. That's all day and day. My phone number is 678-598-4167.
Say it again. Say it again.
678-598-4167. Like, this is my direct connect 24/7, and I will come if we are in the same city. You know what I mean? I will come meet you. We can chop, and we can even go as far as to figure out what we can do about it. I'm not one of those to keep talking about problems. That's one thing.
See, you're like me, Leroy. We are closers. We get it done while folks are talking about it. We done already handled it and went on to the next several projects.
Because it's no good if you keep just ideating the problem for like 2-3 hours. Like,
thank you.
Boy, this is what's wrong.
Thank you.
Like, man, this is what's wrong. And then you never hear, well, what we going to do about it?
Y'all, can y'all tell? He's my brother. Can y'all tell? That's on camera. You are.
But
because you're right. Talking about it don't get nothing done.
Like I keep saying, I am the bridge from the younger generation to the older generation and back. Like, I feel like I understand at least a little bit of what both sides are saying, and I'm
can mediate.
I'm trying to mediate.
Yes.
Like, because no one wants this position. Everybody is either afraid of it or don't find the value in it. Right. So, like, I'm here. LeeCoBrown, aka Leroy Kaufman, and just so if any of you, like I say, who are in my position, question if I'm really where I'm at, Google me. You know, right. Criminal activity is public record. My name is Leroy Kaufman. If you want to pull my name up, you'll see.
Wow.
So it's no. I don't got nothing to hide. I'm not ashamed of nothing. But what I am gonna do is be a part of what we're gonna do to fix.
Leroy, I just love you for that. And you know what? That's ministry. That is ministry, and you're putting back into the community, and you're paving the way. And I'm so honored you're my brother, and I'm so appreciative of what you're saying, because this is what I can't get some church folks to do. I'm just keeping down, you know, I keep it real. I can't get some of us as church folks to do what you're doing. Oh, but we'll preach on it all day long, and we'll take you from Genesis to Revelation about it. But call for action, that's where all of a sudden we get real quiet and go to whispering or tipping or hold that finger up.
And then and leave it up to God.
And leave it up to God. But God leaving it up to us.
God tells you First off, it's a whole part of the Bible called Acts. Like, good God Almighty. Like, that means you have to do something. And then he goes on to say, take a step towards me and I'll take two towards you. So you have to know that you have your part in it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So like, all you church folk, all you super Muslim folk, all you higher than mighty Buddha, whatever you do, you know what I mean? And you feel like your part in it ain't as important as it is. Like, I mean, I just the one to beg the difference. I might be the one to speak on it. And I'm not trying to rub anybody the wrong way. My only goal is solution.
Exactly.
Solution.
I was just going to say, we want results.
I feel like convicted felons are a part of society that has a contribution that is untapped.
Absolutely.
So no one has...
That's what Pastor Stargell says. That's exactly what he says.
I've never seen nobody speak on behalf, and I had no reason to until I became one. So now that I am one, and it's a part of my life, I ain't got no problem with the responsibility.
Well, it's like I told Pastor Stargell, and we'll get ready to bring this to a close, but I told him, you know, and we always want to label, folks, and I know that, quote unquote, that's supposed to be your quote unquote label, convicted felon, and it is what it is, but beyond that, we're people. Beyond that particular label or any label, we're people, and we got to deal with one another as such, people. Leroy, how would I want you to treat me? Well, then that's how I need to treat you. Not this label. Okay, this label means that you get a certain, exactly.
That you can't even grow out of
right. We got to stop that, and I said that.
This ain't a box of Raisin Bran.
Right.
Raisin Bran go always be Raisin Bran. But the Leroy that I was on this set is going to be the Leroy that I end up being. You know what I mean?
Exactly. What we always say, we may not be where we want to be, but thank God we're not where we used to be. Yeah. But the label tries to keep you there even though decades have passed. That label tries to keep you there. Because when I see Lee Cole Brown, Leroy Douglas Kaufman, I see my baby brother that I love to rub it in, that I'm the oldest. I don't see label. I don't see, oh, here comes my convicted felon. I see, oh, here come my baby brother, who my daughter looks more like him than looks like me. That's what I see. And I think God is calling for, I love what you said, acts. Y'all, I was acting up behind this camera when my brother said that, call for action. That's all Jesus was about, action. While the Pharisees and Sadducees were talking about it and having all these lofty legal rules and rituals, Jesus went about doing good. And that's what, if we claim to be in church, we claim to have the all knowledge or whatever, then it needs to show by the fruit of our labors. It needs to show by the compassion in our spirit. So let's do away with the labels and deal with all of us like the way God sees all of us as his kids. Human beings. Not, oh, that's the convicted felon group, and oh, that's the baby mama drama group, and oh, that's the unwed mother group. Bump all that, because we need to look at some of the labels that need to be on us. And keeping it real, in all honesty. I can't thank you enough for your time. This interview means so much to me.
I hope we get to do it again.
Oh,
we might be able to build something, get in a lot of good work.
We're going to, because you know, you and I, we are closers. While they talking, we've already got it done, and then tried to figure out what's the next 2 or 3 projects that need to get done. As you all are listening to this piece, you're hearing the song weave throughout it, Move or Waste Life. Lee Cole Brown, Mason Inc. standing in front of you. So that's his song you're going to hear. That song is going to be heard all over the world. It's a very touching song, and I will be playing parts of it throughout this piece. And I want you all to really listen to the words, because Leroy poses the question. I can say it for Leroy. Night turns to day, day turns to night. What you going to do, baby? Make a move or waste life? And I think that's the challenge you're posing to all of us. Are we going to talk about it? And yourself. To yourself first.
I'm not exempt.
That's and neither are we. And you pose to us, are we going to talk about it or be about it? Any final words to our teenagers as we get ready to bring this to a close? And I want to thank you for your time.
Nothing but much love. Stay strong. And if you ever have a thirst for something to feed your soul, music wise, we here, man. Mason Inc.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And you know what I'm gonna do? Ask you to show us all some love.
Bye.
That's a wrap. That's a wrap.
Till my time comes, I'll give all I got to give.
Night turn to day turn to night. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. Night turn to day turn to night. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide.
Nothing coming to you free. It's called sacrifice. For anything worth having, worth paying the price. Sometimes it ain't as much, other times it's like yikes. But you'd rather pay it early than have to pay it twice. Let my words digest. I'm nourishment to grinders. I learned through experience, got to be a full-timer. Even I need reminders. Distraction will find you. Just try to do your best to get you. It's a beautiful struggle like Kweli, I can't help it, it's in me like an IV. My people been hurting so long, they let drive to be. So some of us have got to leave. No people are watching me. Every day wasted in the city is a pity. And you wish you had it back when the reaper comes to get thee. I know people are gonna miss me, cause I did it like I done it. And I took it like a man to inspire the up and coming.
Night turn to day turn to night. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. Night turn to day turn to night. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide.
Never let another soul tell you you can't. When you feel it in your chest, making money in the bank. Never base your progress off what the next man think. Cause misery love company, they want your ship to sink. One thing about succeeding, you leave some folk behind. Cause either they're underachieving or don't understand your grind. Stay focused on what you believe in. Then give yourself some time. It might take a couple seasons, but I promise you'll be fine. My homie PK always told me, go hard, it helps you rest. You can always sleep better when you know you gave your best. It comes a time in every life when it's action over word, and based on what you've done or not, you gon' get what you deserve. I challenge everyone to move, cause you don't wanna be old, feeling like you never tried to attain your goals. I am the working class hero, simply cause I won't fold. So many Jews on this, you can call it pot of gold.
Night turn to day turn to night. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. Night turn to day turn to night. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Move away, slide. What you gon' do, baby? Make a move away, slide.
You just touched on something without even trying to, and that is those of other people that have dropped out of high school. So, I mean, you're even able to help us in that because you did. And tell us what motivated you.
Well, as a child, I grew up with, you're going to preach the gospel.
And you wasn't hearing
Right.
that.
And at 16, I didn't want to hear it.
I heard that.
Right. So, went to California, spent my 11th grade year in school in Los Angeles, actually in Gardena High School. Went back to Texas, and they were still talking about this "you're a preacher" thing.
You're a preacher thing.
So I dropped out of school, okay,
Wow.
and joined the Army. I went from Texas back to Fort Ord, California, and basic training, 8 weeks of basic training. In the first 2 weeks of basic training, I caught pneumonia in both lungs. They put me in the hospital for 2 weeks. I got out of the hospital. I was supposed to have been recycled to the next class because I had missed so much. Rather than to recycle me, they put me back into the same unit I was in, and I graduated leader of the cycle. I was the best soldier in basic training.
Wow.
So at the
And how old were you at that point?
I was 16.
Wow.
Just about 17. So I went and I went from Fort Ord, stayed on the same base for my advanced individual training in the Army. I was to be a personnel person. So at the end of another 8 weeks, I received orders to go to Fort Sam Houston, Texas, which was just not very far from my home in Texas. Well, I figured that that's too close to this preacher thing. So a friend of mine and I went to the commander, and we asked the commander, could we change orders? Mm-hmm. He was on orders for 2nd Infantry Division in a place called Dongdaesan, Korea. He took my assignment and went to Texas. I took his assignment and went to Korea.
Wow.
When I got to Korea and I got off the airplane in a place called Ascom, I picked up my bags and a young man met me. His name was Specialist Davis. Mm-hmm. He says, I'm your sponsor. I'm here to help you. He says, let me help you with your bags. He picked up my bags and we began to walk, and he turns to me and looks and he says, I just need to tell you that I'm a preacher.
Wow.
So
you ran right smack into what you was trying to run away from.
So
it was a setup. God set you up from the beginning, literally.
For 1 full year, he would come to me every Sunday and he says, you're going to church with me. What you do for the person while he or she is in, by sending a letter, you make the person's day. That's safe. That's church.
And that's ministry.
That's for that person.
Wow.
So he sits on his spot, or she, and the name is called, and their bunk number, or their incarceration number, just depending upon the facility, and they walk up to the desk, or they walk up to their bars from their 2-man cell, mm-hmm. and the person that's got the cart on the outside's got the mail in it, and he hands that person his or her mail, and if they're in a cell, they go back to their 2-man cell or 3-man cell or 1-man cell.
Wow.
They go back and they sit down and they open up the letter gently. They don't tear it. Your letter is not torn open. It's gently open because you want to keep it.
Wow.
And you begin reading it, and if it smells, if you put some perfume or cologne on it, the stuff like you wear,
wow,
then he takes it or she takes it and she puts it up to her nose and she smells it and she puts it back down. And if there's pictures in it, oh boy, is the day made.
Oh my God.
If the pictures are in it, the pictures go either up on the wall or inside the locker. And the pictures are vital. I mean vital. So then they take it after they got that smell and look at the pictures, and then they read it, and every single word is labored over.
Wow.
Look at that. And then they take it, put it back in the envelope, stick it back in the locker or whatever they keep it. And they wait for the next mail call time to come. Mm-hmm. And when mail doesn't come, they pull out that same letter that they read now maybe a dozen times, and they read it over again.
Wow.
Until new mail comes. When a piece of junk mail comes, they take that junk mail and they read it word for word. And they take that junk mail and stick it right in the same area where their letters are, because every single piece of mail carries an importance.
And we complain about all the mail we get.
Everything gotten. Long as your name is called. Now, if you're in an open bay area like this room, and there's 70 people in here in this particular room,
right?
And each of the bunks are they're double beds. Then, when the person comes at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night to deliver the mail, if you're sitting at a table playing cards or watching TV or playing dominoes or what's that other game?
Spades.
Spades.
Chess.
Everybody,
Check, yeah.
right, chess. Everybody goes to their bunk, sit on their bunk, wait for the corrections officer
Wow.
to call out the names of those who got mail. So now, here you are sitting on your bunk, and they say, Alan, bunk 51. They call that number because maybe there's 2 or 3 Allens in the room. So it's the Allen bunk 51. You get walk up there, get in line, and you sit there, you stand there, and as the corrections officer takes a letter opener, opens there. If you get money in the form of a money order, then they'll set it to the side. If there's cash in it, sometimes it is, they'll set that to the side. They'll shake the letter to make sure there's no drugs.
Right.
They'll look at the pictures to make sure that there's no nudity.
Okay.
They'll put the stuff minus the money back in the envelope and hand it to you. If you get 2 or 3 pieces of mail, that's what they do with all of them, all the pieces of mail.
And what do they do with the money?
They set the money to the side.
Put it on the books or something?
Yeah, exactly. When mail call is over, they'll call you back up, name by name, and then you sign. They give you a receipt for your money, and then your money goes on your books. Okay, this is in your larger facilities that hold 50 to 60 to 70 people in one room.
Wow.
Okay, and that mail call time is sacred.
And I'm so wishing, Pastor, that when now I'm thinking, of course, about my brother Leroy and how many times had he looked. Now I know my mom was putting money on the books, and I know my mom was, and I know I was on the other side of the world. But wouldn't it have been so nice if one of them times when they called bunk number, whatever he was, that one of those, one was from his big sister.
Well, amen.
So remiss, so remiss.
Can't go back and
that's right. But we definitely going forward, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely. So
wow.
The other special time that's sacred is time to receive your commissary or your canteen items that you've ordered. If you got some money, and about 60% of the guys and girls don't have money unless they're in a prison or a facility that pays them a few dollars a month. Some prisons they give them, like in Wisconsin, I think they give them like $8 to $10 a month. Okay, whether you work or not. And then if you work,
we won't even consider that enough to be chump change.
No.
We get mad someone give us $8 or $10.
Well, and the kicker there is that if you go to the corner store here and buy a Snickers bar for 75 cents, it costs $1 in prison.
Wow.
The 75 to 80% bag.
You would think it should have been cheaper, like maybe 50 cents.
Right.
Since your dollar don't go as far in prison, you would think the Snicker would be 50 cents or even 20 cents.
Nope. It's price gouging that goes on
I
there.
See that. That's a whole nother.
So that's the other sacred time is that you have filled out your what is it called? You filled out your commissary order form, and on it you have put 5 bags of potato chips, 3 bags of Cheetos, 6 cans of RC Cola, a comb, a set of Dominoes, some soap, and so you put that in, and then 1 week later, it comes back that everybody's got to go to their bunk because now is canteen time or commissary time, whichever prison you're in, whatever.
Right.
Sit there, they call your name, you come up, and you got a big plastic bag. I'm telling y'all what's in my book. You got a plastic bag.
I can't wait to get this
plastic bag has got in it all these items that you done ordered. So now you sign a piece of paper and you get your bag. God help me. You get your bag and you go over to the table, and the table is a metal round or square, depending upon the facility that you're in, with either a 1 round hard a seat or a bench that holds 2 people. So one table might hold 8 people. So you go over to the table and you gotta be watchful. Now you gotta become a hawk because you don't want nobody to steal your stuff.
I know that's right.
So you're hawking now, and you pull your stuff out in a little small area, and you get your little checklist that you done ordered the food and check it off to make sure you got everything.
Right.
You put it back in the bag and you go back to your locker. This is in the huge open bay area. You go back to your locker and you neatly stack it in your locker. You put the potato chips here. You put the candy bars here. You put your soap and your toothpaste here.
Wow.
You put your whatever it is in order.
Right.
It's
And your letter.
neat, and you got your place for your letter is sacred. Nothing touches that area. So you put that in, and then you close your locker, and then at maybe, depending upon when the time for recreation is, you take you out a bag of potato chips and a soda. You try to buy your stuff that's going to last you anywhere from a week to 2 weeks. But when you have a heart, people who don't have, you give.
Wow.
Alrighty? So when they don't have some money, you let them order from your little money that you have, and you take care of those
Isn't that
who
something?
don't have.
That's ministry.
Yeah.
That's some true prison ministry. That's within the prison
That's
ministry. Inside prison ministry.
That's inside.
And have you ever known of instances where people have gotten into fights over where someone tried to mess with their stuff? Because I'm seeing the
You
preciousness.
want me to put this on tape? Do you really want me to put this on tape? I'm going to put this on tape for you. Okay. Now, okay.
I know I'm asking some serious questions, but I just feel in my spirit we need to know.
Okay. A man borrowed a bag of potato chips from another fellow, and he was supposed to pay him back. So, a few weeks passed, and this fella said in the dining hall, "You're going to pay me my bag of potato chips." Well, the guy who borrowed the bag of potato chips was getting ready to get out and go home, but he didn't have any place to go. So he needed a reason to stay in the place.
What you was talking about, the 3 hots and the cot.
Yeah, that's
Jesus
right.
Christ.
He didn't have a place to go. So he came back to the dorm, and he took a lock, and he put the lock inside of a sock. And he went to this guy. They were arguing about the fact that he owed him a bag of potato chips.
Potato chips, not money,
Potato
not
chips.
even an outfit. Potato chips.
And he took, now you got to use this wisely. He took the lock
And the
at
sock.
and he swung it and hit the boy upside the head, and he swung him and hit him back upside the head again, and he swung him until somebody grabbed him. He almost killed the man because he owed him
He owed him.
a bag of potato chips. That's light.